Stand by. Complete.
This is Actar's Reviews, from anime to figures and beyond. Hey, this is Actar and welcome to another episode of Actar's Figure Reviews. It's been a while, but it's time for another Kamen Rider 555 figure review. The subject of today's review, as you can probably already tell, S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider Faiz Axel Form. And yes, it's Axel Form, not Excel Form. Axel Form. Kamen Rider XL is the secondary rider in Kamen Rider Double. But common naming misconceptions aside, S.H.Figuarts Kamen Rider Faiz Axel Form follows in the tradition of many of the Axel Form figures before him, such as the SIC Faiz Axel, Sochaku Henshin Faiz Axel, and Real Action Heroes Faiz Axel, in that he is an exclusive. Now, what exclusive you might ask? Well, a Tamashii web exclusive, of course. Personally, I think that Faiz Axel is one of the most awesome things about the Faiz series. If you know me, you'd know that my number one favorite superpower is time manipulation. With Faiz Axel's super speed, it's practically the same as slowing time down. And unlike Kabuto, Faiz Axel Form's attacks are just so cool. Speaking of Kabuto, do stay till the end for my mini rant on why Faiz Axel does not travel at the speed of sound. But that's enough gushing, let's get to the review proper. First off, we have the traditional near monochrome S.H.Figuarts box with the name written vertically on the side and a portrait of the rider on the bottom right hand corner. It's pretty much similar to the original S.H.Figuarts Faiz box, save for the distinct lack of yellow. On the back, we have a sudden influx of color as we are treated to numerous pictures of the figure itself in a multitude of poses, showing off the various accessories and details of the figure. So that's pretty much it for the box. Let's open this up and take a look at the figure inside. And here he is, the master of speed himself, for at least 10 seconds anyways, Faiz Axel Form. The first thing that will instantly strike you when you release him from his plastic confines are the superb details, most noticeably the ruby red eyes and the inner workings of the full metal lung chest. First, the eyes. At this point, the designers at Bandai have gotten these Kamen Rider compound eyes down to a science. For the uninitiated, this eye-catching effect is created by overlaying textured silver plastic with a colored translucent plastic of your choosing. Notice that the textured detail of Faiz Axels is different from that of the regular Faiz and is more akin to Blaster Form's eyes in the sense that instead of only concentric circles, we have a net pattern. Oh yes, as a word of warning, these fins can be really brittle, so do be careful when handling the figure. As you can see, I accidentally broke one off the head of my Faiz, regular Faiz figure. Moving further downwards, we are greeted by an inordinate amount of detail. I mean, damn! The intricate mechanical circuitry of the Faiz full metal lung chest is executed phenomenally well. I love the dabs of red and green here and there. However, paint-wise, this still isn't 100% accurate to the suit, as we see that the actual suit has a fair bit of yellow, and the mechanical detail stands out far better due to the dark tones here and there. While it would have been brilliant to have seen this on the figure, I know that that would not be possible without a drastic increase in price. After that initial blast of striking details, we start to notice the finer, more subtle details. For instance, the panels of the full metal lung chest plate are not only detailed up front, but also have a sculpting detail on the edges and on the backs. The belt and Faiz gear are also supremely detailed and accurate, what before the panel lines and such. So much so that I would say that it is a near perfect miniature replica of the on-screen counterpart. Thankfully, they got things right with the red-eyed Axel mission memory. Fun fact, the waist of all the Faiz S.H.Figuarts figures can be relatively easily popped off, and the belt is a separately molded piece. Now you can give this to your other figures to hold and to wear for added playability. The final bit of detail to note would be, of course, his Axel watch. Now what would Faiz be without his Axel watch? Well, he'd still be Faiz, but just a whole lot slower. Anyways, the Faiz Axel watch has a ton of molded detail, and even the little startup button is painted in red. Now that is attention to detail. Of course, there's no silver paint on the tips of the fingers, but that's really to be expected at this point in time. The build quality of the figure is also something to write home about. It can be described as sturdy, solid, and it even has die-cast feet. Oh yeah, speaking of the die-cast feet, the Faiz figures also have detailed soles. There is no painted details, but again, that's understandable. Oh yes, did I mention that Faiz Axel has a glorious matte finish? It just looks so much better. Not to mention, the matte finish does a bang-up job of recreating the feel of the original rubber suit. I mean, just compare Faiz Axel to the original Faiz figure. As you can see, a world of a difference. Faiz Axel does have a quote-unquote feature with the full metal lung chest plates. Not only are they articulated, but they are articulated to the point that they can fold over to conceal the inner chest mechanisms. But not so well, I'm afraid. As you can see, they are not form-fitting and do not align with the chest at all. Now that his chest plates are out of the way, you can see that the neck of Faiz Axel is somewhat longer than the other Faiz figures, probably to accommodate the two chest plates. And thinking about it, why would Faiz Axel need this gimmick anyway? The only time you see the chest plates rotate are when Faiz's photon blood streams, the lines all over his body, are red and eyes are yellow. Whatever the case, you can never have too many unintrusive gimmicks, as I always say. This articulation really surprised me because I for one thought that they would remain static. I also thought that being articulated would also mean positioning them would be a pain. But after playing around with the figure for quite some time, I can unequivocally say that this is not the case. In fact, if it weren't for the articulation, I highly doubt that you'll be able to get the figure into any dynamic poses. And just a little word of warning regarding the paint, try not to rub the shoulder pads against the chest plates, as the silver paint does like to leave some unsightly marks on the black. Since we're on the subject of articulation, the figure itself possesses unsurpassed articulation for a figure of this size. We have a double neck joint that affords an impossibly great range of posability. The head can look left and right, up and down. Such a great range of movement. We have already talked about the full metal lung chest plates and how they are on a ball joint. The arms, they are on a double ball joint, once at the body itself and once at the arm itself. The shoulder pad is on its own hinge, and this will allow for such a great degree of more natural posability. The arms can move in and out, forwards and backwards. They can rotate at the upper arm. The elbow is movable and can bend about 90 degrees. The wrist is triple jointed and it can move forwards and backwards, and it can rotate once at the arm and once at the hand itself. We have a double waist joint, one that is hidden by the belt and one that is just below his chest. It can move forwards and backwards, side to side this way as well. Just any way you choose to pose this figure, it can accommodate that pose. Not many people seem to know about this feature, but for the Faiz figures, you can actually extend the waist joint to give the waist a greater amount of posability that is critical in getting him into a number of dynamic and signature poses. Now that is a great touch. As for the leg articulation, something that I absolutely love about most of Figuarts figures, their legs have astoundingly awesome articulation due to the double jointed hips, meaning that you can give the leg added forwards and side articulation by pulling the leg down, then forwards. Now this is something that I really wish could be added on the Figma figures. That being said, the leg can move forwards and backwards, in and out, side to side, and it can also rotate at the thigh. The knees do bend quite a fair bit, nearly 180 degrees thanks to the double knee joint. Now the feet can move forwards and backwards, they can rotate side to side, they can swivel side to side this way, and the front of the foot is individually separately articulated from the rest of the foot. Not only that, in the leg itself is another ball joint to give the foot an even wider range of movement. Now, on to the accessories. Despite coming with a plethora of accessories, Faiz Axel falls into the same trap of having a whole host of unused and incorrect accessories. But first, the ones that they got right. He comes with 2 open hands and one that allows him to hold on to his various weapons. He then comes with a Faiz pointer, shot, and edge. Note that here, the correct mission memory is inserted into them, as Faiz has to first place the Faiz mission memory into a weapon of his choice before turning into Axel form. These, on the other hand, the Faiz phone, the Faiz phone in blaster form, and the Faiz phone in blaster form with the Faiz pointer attached are wrong, as it should be the Axel memory that is inserted into the phone. Needless to say, the details on these accessories are phenomenal. I mean, they even molded in the keypad. Next, he comes with 2 exchangeable belt pieces, one with the phone inserted sans mission memory, and one with the phone removed. These are honestly never seen being used in the show when Faiz is in Axel form, though I can agree with the empty belt buckle if the phones had the Axel memory in them. After all, Faiz did use his phone in blaster mode in Axel form in the Climax Heroes game. Last but not least, we have the Axel watch with the Axel memory inserted. This I have a big problem with. Other than being used as a prop to recreate the scene where Kaiser threw him the watch, this is another useless accessory. You can only equip it to the Faiz Axel figure, as his arms has the holes for it to fit and the matching wrist strap. But this is just wrong, as for him to be in Axel form, the mission memory must already be inserted into the phone. Instead, what they should have done, and what I really was hoping for, would be to include an exchangeable forearm for the original Faiz figure with the Axel watch equipped. Either that or have a clip-on Axel watch piece to clip to his arm. Seriously, we see Faiz with the Axel watch on for more than half of the series, and without it, we can't recreate any of the Axel henshin sequences. So that is the one huge flaw and major gripe that I have with the set as a whole. Other than that, it's pretty much perfect. So in conclusion, I have nothing but praise for this stellar release by Bandai. I might be slightly biased, as Faiz Axel is my favorite form of Faiz, but I still think that the Faiz Axel figure is the best figure to come out of the Kamen Rider 555 series of S.H.Figuarts figures thus far. The figure itself is a dead ringer for its on-screen counterpart, has a solid and sturdy build quality, is phenomenally detailed and outstandingly posable. If you don't want to shell out the cash for the arguably more accurate but less posable Real Action Heroes Faiz Axel figure, this is the figure to get. It does come with a ton of accessories, some awesome, some incorrect, and some useless, but you do get what is necessary and enough to recreate any of Faiz Axel's finishing moves. The only thing that I really wished it could have come with was an exchangeable forearm for the original Faiz figure with an Axel watch equipped. Sadly, I must say what must be said for any exclusive figure review, in that it is unfortunately slightly more expensive to get a hold of due to its exclusive nature. This is really a pity, as honestly, this figure is so awesome that all Faiz fans should own this figure. But if you're a fan of Faiz, I say it is a small price to pay for such an outstanding figure. Actually, considering the fact that this figure was just released recently, there are still a ton out there on the secondary market that are going for pretty reasonable prices, so do get yours while you can. So, this is Actar saying, see you guys in the next episode.
Start up.
Clock up.
3, 2, 1. Time out.
Thanks for staying to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed that short movie that I made. Here, I want to address the common misconception that Faiz Axel only travels at the speed of sound. I don't know how this rumor came about, but the only place I ever saw it listed as such was Wikipedia. And if you don't know already, never ever trust Wikipedia or any such collaborative editing sites. So, to find out the true official speed of Faiz Axel, I did some research and here's what I found out. From the official site and the Faiz official guidebook, the Axel watch allows Faiz to move 1,000 times his original speed. The max speed of Faiz is 100 meters per 5.8 seconds or 17.24137931 meters per second. Doing the math, Faiz Axel's speed is approximately 17,241.37931 meters per second, which is approximately 50 times the speed of sound, rounded off from 50.2664198, taking the speed of sound to be 343 meters per second. So it is not a stretch to believe that Faiz Axel travels at the same speed as Kabuto during clock up.